Hi all, RetroTech Chris here again. Recently I visited the System Source Computer Museum, which happens to be in Hunt Valley, Maryland. It's really a hidden gem if you haven't been, and I highly recommend going. Here you can see the lobby. I absolutely love the Control-Alt-Delete pillows and the iMac table that you see there. Very cool. System Source, which both houses the museum and provides IT services, has been a factor in the community for quite some time, and I'm very appreciative of them providing this museum. As you head into the museum proper, there's this very cool wall display of all of these covers of Byte magazine, going back all the way to 1975, as you can see here. The museum is always expanding as well. Here you can see where they're putting together a future exhibit for a Cray system. On the other side of the hallway where the Cray exhibit is being put in is this very nice digital exhibit. This was pretty cool to see, this PDP-12 and other equipment here, and I believe that some of it can be powered on, which is pretty awesome as well. And while I was here, people were looking to prepare racks and actually stand up more equipment, I believe. For the tour itself, we had the very splendid curator, Bob Roswell, giving us the tour. And one of the first things that Bob showed us was one of System Source's oldest surviving invoices. Bob has been involved since the beginning, him and Mari, and I encourage you to pause and look at all of the different aspects of this invoice. It's wonderful. One of the first exhibits we saw was on pre-industrial computers, and you can see there are some abacuses here, one of which was given to Bob, and he told us about how he had purchased a book that didn't go with it. Then he purchased the abacus to go with the book, and then the other book to go with the abacus. Great little story there. And also we can see over here on the right some Napier's bones, which are great for doing multiplication. I found this fascinating and had to come home and share it with my daughter, who also appreciated it. Pretty cool way to do multiplication. Here we see a very precision calculating instrument. Here we see a Greek astronomical device dating all the way back to 80 BC. That was discovered partially in a shipwreck and then reconstructed. Sorry, my camera's out of focus here. But just look at the intricacies of this for 80 BC. Pretty incredible. Here we have an exhibit on memory, including core memory. I can only imagine weaving all of the little cores through there. A pretty impressive feat. Look how small those are as you look in the middle there. And you can see more quote-unquote modern memory on the bottom. And here we can see a single core cell, and we had a demo of how that worked. Pretty cool. Here we have a fairly new exhibit on tic-tac-toe, which demonstrates how machine learning can help to improve computational accuracy of winning tic-tac-toe, as well as a little book here that outlines all the different moves for tic-tac-toe. I particularly enjoyed this little exhibit here with all of the different Laserdisc and other media that you see. Just look at that huge Laserdisc player there in the center. Very, very cool. We can see some VHS tapes amongst other media as well. Very exciting to see this. Movie CDs as well. Very cool exhibit. I enjoyed the illustrative nature of this exhibit because we really have condensed a whole bunch of devices down into the smartphones that we hold in our hands. And it was cool seeing this old tech. I love that Panasonic 4X player there in the middle. Such a cool little exhibit. Here we have the mechanical calculators exhibit, and this is definitely something you want to see, and something you want to see interactively. Definitely ask for a demo. It is so fun to see these machines at work, performing calculations mechanically. Such a great exhibit. And here's an exhibit on storage, which I really enjoyed seeing as well. Seeing all those tapes, floppy disks, other types of media as well, optical. Such a cool exhibit. Look at that hard drive on the left there. Here's a little closer up of the media because I'm in love. It was just great to see it all here. Absolutely love media. This is a great exhibit to see at the museum. Next, we have a UNIVAC exhibit. Just look at this. Look at all of those wires and lights and switches. As Bob joked, or maybe he was serious, he said this will be his retirement project to get everything wired up here. Look at all of those boards there. Every single one needs to be tested before you power on, is my understanding. So intricate, so many devices. And here we can have a closer look at this wire wrapping here. Once again, I can only imagine what debugging this would be like. It had to have really been something. and all of those lights and switches. Here's a little closer up there as well. Trying to interpret that, I think, would take quite some computational brain power. Some other panels here as well. It's pretty exciting to see all of this UNIVAC stuff here at the museum. And here we go. Here is Bob's retirement project on full view. Look at all of those wires there. That really has to be something to keep straight and make sure is working properly. Very cool. I really enjoyed seeing this little exhibit here. It reminds me of the things that you would find at Radio Shack to have as a child, or otherwise to get children interested in technology and circuits. And on the bottom row here, we're gonna see an Alfie, which I had growing up. You can see that little robot hiding there in the back. Such a cool exhibit. Moving on, we can see this cool wall of computers from the past. The Radio Shack computers there in a minute. I promised to get a close-up. And on the left, I think we had some other handhelds and things along those lines. Some of these definitely look familiar. Look, there's an iRobot too. And here we can see, I believe it's an Acorn system or a BBC system. Pretty cool to see this here on display. Not particularly familiar, but maybe you'll see some of your favorites. And here we go to the Radio Shack section with all of those TRS-80 handhelds. So cool to see that, as well as the Tandy 1000 that we'll see in the row below. We see a Coco there. That Tandy 1000, actually two of them, definitely caught my eye. Some other TRS-80s, and a little tribute to Radio Shack. So appropriate. Absolutely love the Tandy line of computers and Radio Shack line of computers. Such a shame that we can't have those today, but you never know, one can always dream. This is definitely a cool little exhibit. And over here we have other systems. Again, I'm not particularly familiar with these. This is a bit of a lightning round, looks like a Wang up there, but wanted to capture this, a Vector PC as you see there, just so you can see it. Maybe you'll see something that you remember from your past. It's pretty cool to see these here. As I've said before, you should definitely consider visiting the museum. And here we have PDAs and other handheld devices. It was nice to see this exhibit as well. Lots of different brands, lots of different styles. You can see the evolution there. Once again, replaced by the smartphone, as we all know. But yeah, we see Epson, we see Compaq, then we see some Sinclair systems. All kinds of different systems here. Pretty cool to see it, that Timex personal computer. And more of the UNIVAC exhibit there. Love that license plate from 1974. So very cool, nice to see on display here at the museum. The original IBM PC was also on display here. Well represented, of course, with a printer, as well as some other models. I think an XT, a portable, and some other devices as well. Perhaps you can name them in the comments below. I'm not familiar with all of them, but it was nice to see this represented here. Next up, we have this cool Apple I display. You can see a replica over there with Woz signing it when he came to visit the museum. Pretty cool to see this on display where you can interact or see how this system works. But not to be outdone, here is a real Apple I with lots of cool accessories. Look at that. Wow, I don't think I've ever been as close as this to an Apple I system. It was great to see. And as you can see, the museum paid a premium for it, $475,000. Here we can see some very cool Apples as well. Apple III, Apple IIs, very nice to see in the museum. A nice 2C there and a Mac in a clear case. I think that's a 2CX or something to that effect. Sorry, Mac guys, I probably got that wrong. Here's a Lisa, cool to see that as well on display. So many cool devices here. And here we have a nice era of systems, the Apple II, the TRS-80, and the PET. Some contemporaries, as we'll say, all together on a table. And look at all of these iMacs across the top. So well represented. Forgive me, but I had to do a shot like this. I know the video's a little choppy, but I just had to do the rundown to see all of these beautiful iMacs on the top shelf here. Other Apple systems as well. A Nextcube, as I believe, as well. Some Apple laptops showing the different generations as well. I love the build up there. That is just so cool. That monitor there, I think, is part of the display. But anyway, lots of great systems here. Oh, just love it, that all-in-one Mac there. I'm not a big Mac expert, but I love to see them. The clamshell Macs, so cool. Anniversary Mac, so many great systems here. Your Molar Mac, and then I see some LCs, I believe it is. Such a great thing to see. Color Classic, it's all here on display. And another series of machines with great design aesthetics is the Silicon Graphics line. Lots of systems on display here. Always loved these and the colors of the case. I'm not an expert, but I wanted to show you what they had here at the museum as well. And actually somebody donated one while I was there, so I'm sure there'll be even more. So my motivation for coming to the museum was a repair workshop. And the reason why is that I wanted to see if someone could help me fix this lovely compact Presario monitor. So arriving at the event, we could see folks were well set up, lots of different things to work on, lots of equipment to work on it. You can see people brought their tools and their Dr. Pepper, everything you'd need to do vintage computer repairs. And for those of you who might have watched my compact Presario 2100 video recently, you would have noticed that the monitor was broken and not powered on. Well, when everything was all said and done, it was working again. A huge thanks to Sark, or Ian, who is known as the CRT Whisperer, who got this nice compact Presario V400 monitor up and running again and beautifully. So wrapping things up, I can't say enough nice things about my great visit to the System Source Computer Museum. And I actually got to meet up with a couple of retro YouTubers while I was there as well. It was nice to see Rick from Rick's Random Retro and Bruno from Sucra. I want to give a big thanks to VCF Mid-Atlantic, in particular Alex, for making me aware of this particular event. And I want to give a huge thanks to the System Source Computer Museum and Bob Roswell for being a most excellent host. Absolutely loved it here, and I look forward to returning with the rest of the family. Thanks for watching.